You want more traffic, more leads, and more customers for your business, and you're looking into content marketing as a strategy that you can leverage to make that happen. It feels overwhelming, doesn't it? All the social media platforms, all the different types of content, you don't even know where to start, and I totally feel you. And today that's exactly what we're gonna cover. What is content marketing, how to create a strategy for your business, and how to make sure that you can implement that strategy, because knowledge without the execution of it is nothing. So let's dive into it. Now, a lot of the other videos that are already existing on the topic focus on the tactical stuff of a content marketing strategy, how to find different topics, how to find content ideas, and all these little nuances that you already do once you have an existing content marketing strategy. But for those of you who are just starting out, have no idea what content marketing is, how it works, I just want to share the big picture overview. I want to help you create a strategy for your business and make sure that it matches your current reality and current situation, because more often than not, I see people making the mistake of applying tips and tricks that are not really applicable to their current situation and their starting point. So without further ado, let's dive into number one, which is start with the end in mind. Now, starting my journey more than 10 years ago with my first website, dating back 2012, when I launched my first health and fitness business, I just put up the website and I was hoping for customers to come. It was beautifully designed. I made sure I have like nice graphics and I had all the sections, a couple of blog posts written. And I realized that there's no way for people to actually find my website unless there's a way for me to bring them over to that website. So that's where I realized there's an content and the importance of content. So I started reading different blogs, started applying these different strategies. I started creating content on the social media platforms. I started blogging, I started creating videos. But what I realized is that a lot of the strategies that I implemented didn't really move the needle for me. So 2 years into my business, I wasn't making any progress, I wasn't making any money, and I was just creating content. And I realized that it's not just important to create a content, but to actually have a strategy behind it. So starting with the end in mind, what is the objective of your business? So for me, when I first started, my only objective was to get more customers, and the content I was creating wasn't for that particular stage, as I was creating more educational content and it was very vague, not so actionable. It was just repurposing stuff that already existed out there. So it took me a couple of years of trial and error and just learning on my own before I figured out that I need to craft a specific piece of content that follows a formula. And it was a video sales letter in particular that I crafted, and it took me probably a month and a half to make that one video that was 45 minutes long. But that single video resulted in me growing my business 600% that exact year. So in the beginning, I would just focus on creating strategic pieces of content and then distributing those until you find one that works and you can use to amplify either via different social media channels or with paid advertising, and actually use that piece of content to grow your business and make sure that you have a way to scale your content production. So this is number one, find what is the objective for your current needs in your business, and don't just apply strategies that you pick and choose from all these different websites, different blogs, or even YouTube videos. Now, the second thing I didn't realize is that it really matters what kind of business you have. Is it a B2B? Is it a B2C, meaning business to business or business to consumer? Or do you offer a product or a service or a software? Because all these different aspects of the business reflect into the strategy. Are you going to be using short form video content? Are you going to be creating different advertorials or longer form blog posts? Are you just going to be making nice images that represent your product? Really depends on what you offer. So the best way to go about it is just study what your competitors are doing. Are they doing videos? Are they doing blog posts? Are they doing short form content? Just really find what is working for your particular niche, because some products are not ideal for particular niches. Now, number three, what is the pressing need in your business right now? So for me in the beginning, the pressing need was that people didn't know who I am, what was my story, and what could I offer as a service. They had awareness that they have a problem, that they want to lose weight, they feel better, they want to improve their health and well-being, but they just didn't know that I could help them, and I offer those services. So I was just offering vague content around recipes, about nutrition, about workouts, but people really didn't care about it. They wanted a specific advice on how I can help them. So once I understood that and started crafting specific content that answered their questions, how long is it going to take, what they have to do, is it going to work, how the process is going to look like. Once I crafted that piece of content, my sales skyrocketed just because I understood the mindset of my end consumer. So that's what I advise you to do. Just interview your current prospects or people that are in your ideal target audience to find out what are the questions they have regards to your business, your service, or your product, and then craft specific content around that regardless of the form. Now, number 4 is to look very closely at the resources you have available. When you're first starting out, depending whether you're a solopreneur or you have an existing company with a team, you might have limited time, you might have limited resources, and if you're a one-man band like I was 2012 and you're doing everything yourself, you just have to create the content, you have to do the selling, you have to do the service delivery, you have to do the accounting, you have to do that. You had to do all these things, and content strategy literally took maybe 80% of my time. I didn't deliver the results I was looking for because I didn't understand that specific problem, that I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the time, the capacity to create and output such an amount of content that most of the blogs out there and videos were suggesting at that time. So when I took a step back and I looked at the resources I had, I became resourceful. So I was thinking, okay, so how can I apply what I have right now, which is my story, my current experience, I'm here in the gym, and what is the content I can create that answers those specific questions. So once I became aware of my resources, it became much easier to come up with the actual strategy of distributing content and actually crafting pieces that speak to my ideal target audience and allow me to actually help them make that buying decision. Now, 5 would be, what is your competitive advantage? Now, I'm sharing again from my perspective, but in my particular business, I thought that I can help anyone because everybody wants to lose weight, feel better, have a glowing skin, and just overall feel better. But it was very hard to speak to everyone. And it's like I was speaking to everyone, but no one heard. I was creating content for everyone, but no one heard. And when I took a step back and I realized, okay, what is my current clientele? What are my current existing customers? What do they value the most in my service? And it was actually the corrective exercises I was doing with them, as most of them were busy professionals spending a lot of time in front of the computer, and most of them had problems with their neck, back, knees. So they were really appreciating the type of exercises we were doing that were easing their pain. So I started crafting content around that, and guess what? My business started attracting more of those types of customers. So it's really about understanding what is your unique advantage, what is your competitive edge. Maybe it's your location, maybe you live by the beach so you can create a nice videos around your product. Maybe it's the scenery, maybe it's a proprietary blend or a product or a unique software that you have. Maybe it's an education company and only you have the expertise, the knowledge, and also the applicable experience that you can offer to the end consumer via your content, whether that's going to be written text, whether that's going to be video, podcast, or just quizzes, polls, whatever it is that you decide to create for your business. There's no better or worse way to go about it. Now, step number 7 would be to find a way to create your content. And in the beginning, I set out to do videos because I realized that with video content, it's just much easier to communicate, to bond with the audience, and to start crafting pieces that would resonate with them. The only problem with that was that I wasn't really paying attention to what's happening outside of what I was doing, and I didn't take a look at my competitors. I didn't see what are the best practices. So I spent a lot of time creating content that really didn't result in much. So as my friend likes to say, first you have to sharpen the axe before you start cutting the trees. So I had to take a step back. I had to go back to the drawing board and do a little bit of research just to see what others are doing so I can start modeling that and just use some of the best practices that are proven to work and just look for already topics that are converting, that are delivering the results we're looking for. And then from there on, I was able to craft a strategy that really amplified what I was doing. Another mistake I see a lot of people make is that they focus to create content on all those platforms, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the chances are if you're starting out just like me or you have a small team, it's very hard to tackle all the platforms. It's hard to post on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, manage a Facebook group, have an email list. These are kind of all the different mediums that we can take as an approach, but unless you have a big team that already has the experience, it's very hard to create quality pieces of content that are meaningful to the audience you're offering it to and do it at scale at all these different platforms. And that was the thing that I was trying in the beginning and caused a lot of frustration, a lot of sleepless nights, and a lack of results therefore, because the quality wasn't matching the quantity I was trying to put out there. So my advice to you, if you're just starting out and if you have a small team, maybe you have 3, 4, or 5 people, just focus on one platform, make that your core platform. If that's YouTube, that's great. You can just create YouTube videos and use that to grow your brand. You could be doing TikTok videos or have a Facebook group, regardless of your choice of distribution platform. Just focus on one where you put all your attention to. Now, I'm not saying that you should disregard all the other platforms. Quite the contrary. I would still use all the other platforms, but I would drive that traffic. So if I have a YouTube channel and that's my core focus, I would use TikTok to drive traffic to my YouTube channel. I would use my email list to push traffic to my YouTube videos. I would use my Facebook group to curate and ask and engage with my audience to see what is the videos that they would like to see, and then point them back to my YouTube. So this way I can amplify what I'm already good at and where I'm focusing at, and be able to grow that particular channel and allow from that particular growth to then distribute to the other channels as well, and grow evenly as I find more team members that I can put in specific positions that allow me to create more content at scale. So once you have that channel, once you identify the type of content you're going to be creating, what I would suggest is just find out what your competitors are doing and just do 10 times more. What I mean by that, if you find out that your competitors are doing 3 blog articles a week, what you can do in the beginning, especially if you're starting out and you have so much to say about your current niche, you have so much content to create, you can answer as many questions that the prospects might have. I advise you to go all in and start to create as much content as possible without sacrificing quality. So if that means creating a video every single day, then do that until you catch up, you overcome, and you dominate your competitors. I advise you to just dominate the organic search and create more content than everybody else, because in 2022 the only scarce thing is people's attention. So the more content you put out there, the more the chances you grab their attention. You can take TikTok as a platform, for example. I'm not saying it's the best platform out there, but I'm just saying that it just surpassed Google in terms of time spent on the platform and searches on the platform, and also the time spent on the platform. Now, the average length of a video on YouTube is probably 8 to 10 minutes. TikTok is 15 seconds. People spend more time on TikTok watching 15-second videos than they do on YouTube, just because our mind is telling us that we just consume so much more content, so much more information at such a short rate that allows our brain to get that instant gratification, to get that dopamine rush. So I advise you to focus on quality, quantity, one channel, and then use all the other channels that you have to distribute leads and prospects and traffic to that one channel that you're growing. And then from there on, you can point them to your product, you can point them to your software, you can point them to your services, and this is how you monetize. Now, this video was overview of the strategy, how to craft one, and then there's going to be a video that's going to walk you through all the steps in the process, how to find a niche, how to find the best topics, headlines, and make sure you're creating relevant content, how to do keyword research to make sure that what you're creating content for is something that people are looking for in your niche. So I'm going to have a video on all these topics, and I'm creating content related around marketing, social media, and paid advertising. So if you're keen on the topic, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notifications for more info. Super happy to have you here. Again, Simeon Krastev, and excited to have you sharing my journey and progress with you so you don't make the mistakes I did.